If there's something in this world that irks me, it has to be the people whose behavior changes at you because they are mad at you for something, therefore they're holding a grudge, but they don't have the guts for some reason to confront you about it, and instead they resort to performing aggressions. And for me, you guys may disagree, that is a display of a very infantile, immature person. In the past 3.5 years, I can say that has happened to me very often, and it's happened to me in circumstances that leave me rather disappointed because it comes from people that I feel, based on my position, say at work, my age, my status, I consider these people who come to mind to be folks I ought to be looking up to. But I find myself sometimes looking down upon them a little bit, even though I try to control that because I know I myself am not perfect, and I like that I am very aware of that fact. But sometimes I get sad because I feel like my growth is stunted to a degree because I don't get to have these people come to me to have a mature discussion about what I did to make them feel that way, confront me, and that is my opportunity to grow. Whereas when it's the opposite, when I'm the one who's offended, I'm not afraid of going up to the clown who did whatever they did to me that was offensive and be like, hey, what you did is fucked up. It is rude, it's disrespectful, it's gaslighting, it's damaging, it's all those things. And this is why. What do you have to say? Defend yourself. And then from that point on, I am hoping that I am heard. Hopefully, whatever needs to be amended is amended. And at least I tend to have a very forgiving mindset. But it disappoints me that when I'm the monster in the story, everybody I can think of, they will do things like ignore me, or say I have been in this situation where I have been riding with someone and they start driving all aggressively and stupid and braking very aggressively and taking turns very sharply, all that shit. This was cooking inside of them the entire day, and only toward the end of the day is when I heard about it. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's emotionally abusive. And my safety is on the line. I don't say anything the moment that the violent act is happening, because at that moment, it's like if I say something, this person is going to be even more offended, and my life is technically on their hands. I shouldn't be present in this vehicle anymore, for example. But other times at work, it's that person who's supposed to just have discussions with me, have conversations with me, come to me and perhaps provide instructions, or we need to collaborate at something. It's like I could feel in the air that something was wrong, but because I didn't know what was wrong, I couldn't think of anything being wrong, except the mindset I took was, I understand that this person is going through things. So maybe today is one of those days in which going through things is catching up with them. Is it fair on me or the rest of us who are here? No. But I'm just saying that I don't want for people to think that I am an idiot just because I stay silent about things. I just know how to handle it in a way that doesn't cause a scene, doesn't cause any drama, and keeps gossip at a minimum. Anytime any matter that's supposed to be intimate gets out, it's because the other person did the fucking talking. It's always the other fucking person, because I know how to tell nobody. And if I do tell somebody, it's just one person who I know practices absolute discretion. So if that is not a symptom to you that you got problems, I don't know what is. I just wanted to put this out there and see if this has happened to you guys. Someone who's just mad at you, but as opposed to telling you, hey, what you did this and that to me, it's like they're upset in the background and they'll talk to others about how they're mad at you. but they never discuss how they're mad at this person with the actual person they're mad at. Why is that? Why that cowardice? Why that behavior? Why do you resort to that? What are you hoping to gain? If you're not going to confront the person involved, at least be quiet and keep it to yourself. But I guess you're not capable of doing that. There's a lot of people I can say I'm mad at. You don't see me sitting here calling them out by name and telling the story, first of all, from your perspective, which is always going to be worse than what the other person has to say. And that's why I like to share a story after I've gone through the process of discussing it with the other person. And I'll be like, you know what? The moment it happened, this is what I thought. This is the conclusion I arrived at. But now that you explained that, it's like, oh, I didn't consider that shit. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Or I'll make sure that doesn't happen. Make it an opportunity for growth. But a lot of people just don't do that. Is it embarrassing? Possibly. But why do you care about something being embarrassing? To me, when you make yourself vulnerable, that makes you more human and more trustworthy. You're missing out on an amazing opportunity just because your pride is getting in the way. And how long are you going to just remain upset at something that you probably don't even need to be upset at? If you just talk to the person, it's just hurtful. That's one of those things that socially I don't deal very well with, because I live my life just perfectly normal, continuing my usual routine, only to find out that this clown spent such a long time feeling that way and didn't say anything and never said anything. And because of that, they had this wrong idea. And it turns out that I had nothing to do with it. And at work, particularly, on various instances, what has happened is that, you guys know me, my integrity is unbreakable. I'm never going to change it for anything. I'm not going to stop being honest. I guess there's some people who don't understand that discipline. If I'm put down to do a job, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And the best of my ability is always going to be to respect the laws established by the company, whether I like them or not. Well, sometimes I'll do just that. I'll do my job, but people don't understand that I'm doing my job, and they take certain actions that I have to take against them personal. And I'm thinking, no, this is simply something that is an evaluation of your job performance that I have to report on. I don't make the decisions. I always have to run those through for approval. It's not like me saying that means that I'm the one creating the matter so that you end up being sanctioned for it in any way. That disappoints me, because I'm thinking that this is involving individuals that I ought to be learning from. But now I see that they cannot deal with it, even though for other things they demonstrate that they can deal with it. At the same time, I know that the root of the problem is the fact that not everybody likes to do the job according to what is agreed that you are agreeing to do, say following the establishments that are expected of you. And I'm guessing that because I know how to do that and how to do it without a bias, then naturally my name will come up more on said reports, and then it'll appear like I'm the one who has a problem with people. And for that, thankfully, I don't care, because I ultimately know the truth of what's happening. These people don't get to see my face when I discover something and I'm like, oh no, oh man, this happened. I wish I could do something to rectify this. But unfortunately, if I rectify something, I'm committing a fraud. It's some form of perjury, if you want to look at it that way. And if it were up to me, there's a lot that I would let go of, that I wouldn't take into account. But unfortunately, I don't make the rules. And what I wish that people like this would understand is that I'm establishing a good precedent as a person, as a worker, as a friend, as a family member, everything, that I deliver my performance regardless of circumstance. Let's say that in the future, something happens. You have a business. I'm unemployed. I apply to your place. I would like for you to look at my name and for it to stand out and be like, oh, holy shit, this person is applying here. This person is looking for something here. Hell yeah. Open the door to her. I remember her having perfect attendance, never gave any problems, great behavior, completely integral, completely honest, took pride in her job, yada yada. This is the time for me to establish my profile, my character, my personality traits, especially. Let's say that I decide to do a shitty job during this time. Would you consider me in the future? When you see my name, it's like, oh, I remember her. She used to do things under the table. She used to edit things. She used to just do a sloppy job. She used to be she would just cover things up, and this is my business now. I have a lot at stake. It's risky. Let's not consider it. Are you not afraid of that? See what I mean? That is the thing that guides me. It's like I live with some kind of fear of the consequences of me not doing things right, or doing things as, in this case, this protocol demands of me. You guys know that when it comes to general life stuff, I don't believe in protocols. But when it comes to things that I have absolutely zero power, zero control of, to change or anything like that, then I have to be compliant. But for the things that are more optional, I'm not, and there's a reason for that. Yeah, you guys, again, this is not exclusive to just work. I see this happening in my personal life, my family. There were times in which I remember that I did something or said something and it was completely innocent, completely inoffensive. Somebody got offended about it and they gave me the silent treatment and the passive aggressions and the short sentences and not even greeting me in the daytime, shit like that. I don't do that. Like, if I'm mad at someone, I'll still acknowledge them. I'll still try to look them in the eye. And it's usually them who avoid looking at me in the first place, which I don't care, because at the end of the day, I can prove that I'm the educated one and all that stuff. But I just wonder, why is it that people feel like that's the best tactic? This is looking bad on you. You're the one making it awkward on yourself, because me, I'm continuing to live my day like normal. I am leaving that stuff behind to allow for a new today and tomorrow, but you're clinging on to whatever offended you, which you're probably wrong about, and you're losing all that time with me, stressing yourself out over my presence when I have done nothing. Like, I cannot be any more innocent. I'm not saying that I have never done that. I remember when I was younger, like a teenager, that's when I used to do that stuff. And I remember that it made me feel awkward and weird in a way, because I felt like I had to put out energy to be able to maintain my upset facade. And when I became a more forgiving person, that's when I felt like I was living my life a little more to the fullest. So maybe now that I'm older, I feel like I'm able to take that and apply it to my present. But maybe there are people that emotionally and mentally are still stuck in that high school era of, when you offend me, then I stay mad at you and we don't play together, we don't have lunch together, all that shit. Over what? So that's the part that I guess I want to put out here and see how you guys cope with that. Or maybe you are that person. Are you ever the person who, when someone upsets you in any way, that's the attitude that you take? You decide to just be like, oh, fuck this person, I'm not gonna talk to them, I'm gonna avoid them and all that stuff. Why do you do that? Does it make you feel better? Is it better for you to be that way? Or do you feel like you care at all to find out the truth of what's happening? Why don't you give yourself the opportunity to have a discussion with this person and make sure that the conclusion that you jump to is actually the right one? I don't know, but that mess, it frustrates me, but it's frustration with disappointment. And those two emotions are, when they're colliding, those are the ones that I feel affect me the most, because I cannot say that I have a good coping mechanism for those. So anyways, you guys, I don't remember ever creating a topic quite like this one. So yeah, let's have the discussion down in the comments. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.